Hello and welcome to this tutorial on how to rip and encode DVDs, brought to you by FreeMac Software and macOS 10 screencasts. For more freeware Mac and iOS apps, go to free-mac-software.com. One of the big problems DVDs still cause is that they are not very computer friendly. You need to put them in a computer in order to play them, and if you're traveling, they suck your computer's battery empty in no time. So, the idea is easy. You simply copy the DVD to your hard drive and play them from there. No DVD is necessary, and thus the motor used to spin the DVD doesn't use battery power. After ripping is done, you have the copy of the DVD, which you can play from disk without needing the DVD. But the problem then is that the copied data just uses so much space. So this data is encoded into a different format which uses much less space on disk, but has a similar quality to the DVD. The two terms, ripping and encoding, are sometimes confused. Ripping means you copy the data from the DVD to the disk. Encoding means transforming a video from one format to another. So, what most people rather want is not to rip a DVD. What they really want is they want to rip a DVD and encode it later. So they have a smaller format on the local drive, also a copy, but it uses much less space than the original. Usually you directly encode the DVD to the drive. This means you leave the DVD in the computer while it's encoding. So what they really want is they want to put the DVD in the drive and encode the movie on the fly while the DVD is in the computer until it's done, and then they have the movie on the disc, which they can watch as often as they want. As a disclaimer, in most countries it is not allowed to circumvent any copy protection mechanisms the manufacturer has put on the DVD. We chose tools that generally don't circumvent any copy protection. If you find a DVD you can't burn with these instructions, then that's a good indication that you are not allowed to make a copy. To be on the 100% safe side, check your copy's copyright laws. As a rule of thumb though, if you don't own the DVD, you can't make a copy of it. In the first step, we need to copy all the DVD contents to the local drive. The easiest way to do this is to use the Finder. Open a new Finder window, go to the DVD, and copy the DVD to the desktop. In there is a folder called video_ts. This is the folder that contains your movie. There's sometimes another folder named audio_ts. Though many people believe this folder contains the audio from the movie, it is only used for audio DVDs, an unpopular format that was once advertised to replace audio CDs, but in fact didn't. If the Finder gives you an error that it can't copy the data, you can use VLC. VLC has a built-in streaming and export wizard, which means you can not just put any video you're watching onto a stream, but also convert it. In this case though, we're just using it to write the DVD to the disk while essentially watching it. You can do that by opening the disk from the File menu. In this new window, select to disable the DVD menus. In the text boxes below you need to put the title and chapter you want to write to a file. To find the right title though, you first need to do a couple of other things. Usually title 1, chapter 1 is the number you want to put in there, but sometimes you might want to copy the extras of a DVD as well. Then you need to know how to find these titles. First, start the DVD as if you want to watch it. Then in the menu, there's a title and chapter entry. Usually, you just go into the title menu and look for the title that has the longest number. This is the main movie. Note this down, because we're going to use it in the other menu. Okay, now that we know that we want to rip the title 1 and the chapter 1, we just need to select Streaming and Saving and click on Settings. In this new menu, you need to put the file name title. In my case, I want to save it to the desktop. The shortcut here is just Command D. VLC output is OK. Then click Save. In this menu you also see that VLC is also able to encode the video as well. I'm not going to do that now because explaining how to use the encoding in VLC is rather complicated. We are going to use Handbrake later because it's much easier to use. Now when you have set the file name, you just need to click OK and then open. You see the new file appear on my desktop and VLC starts playing. This is why I said we're essentially watching this DVD now. It is just playing the DVD and copying whatever comes in directly to the disk. We can use this .ts file later in Handbrake as well as an input to encode it to the final format. No matter which method you've used to copy the DVD to the disk, whether you've used the Finder directly, VLC, or whether you want to use Handbrake to directly rip and encode, you just end up in Handbrake. Here in the dialog, just choose the DVD and open it, then wait for the scan to be finished. Once that is done, you can choose from the many built-in presets. Let me just toggle the presets and move the window out of the way so you can actually see it. Here you see a list of built-in presets. You just want to select the one that's appropriate for your device. For instance, if you want to watch a movie on your iPad, then just use the iPad one. And if you want to watch a movie on your Apple TV, just use the Apple TV one. Now let me move the window back because actually I want to show you something else. I really can't go into detail with the video encoding in this short tutorial, but what generally determines the size of your video is this small setting here. The higher the bitrate, the bigger the video and better looking the video. The lower, the smaller the video, but also less good looking the video. When you decided which bitrate to use, as I said earlier, you might want to stick with the preset bitrate. You might want to give the audio tab a look. Many people don't know that a video file can have multiple audio tracks. You can use Handbrake to encode multiple audio tracks into the movie. Select the language from the menu, for instance, Czech or Russian. Choose a codec, for instance AAC, bitrate, so on and so forth. You can even choose a third language. And now that is done, you can either just click Start to encode the encoding process right away, or add the video to the encoding queue, which means you can build up an encoding queue of videos you want to encode and then hit Start and process them all at once. As you've seen, ripping and encoding is still not the most convenient process, but once the movie is saved, you normally don't have to use the DVD anymore, which is good for most people. I hope this tutorial helped to understand the difference between ripping and encoding. Until next time, take care, bye.